I'm Johnathan Karch with 3Rivers Archery. Today we're talking about the Bohning Dip Kit. First thing, when you're going to dip your arrows to put a crown dip or a cap dip on them, you want to determine how long you want the crown dip to be on the shaft. Mainly, as long as you go past where the end of your fletchings are going to be, you're going to be safe. Easiest way to find this is put one of the raw shafts into the fletcher, put a feather in there so you can see where it is. I recommend going at least an inch past that just so you have some space for your cresting and just so you're past it. On these shafts that we're going to do today, you'll see I'm going to put the line at 9 inches. This puts it just below the carbon shaft's decal on it. I wanted that so it had the most visibility of the shaft and then also not interfere with the decal. But it's really just a personal preference of what you go. Another note for what color you go with, this boning cresting kit comes with 2 colors. Comes with the white and comes with the clear. I'm using the white for this one because I want the nice bright color to stand out on the arrows. The clear, you can use it for one of 2 purposes. You can use it just by itself to put a coat over your carbon or aluminum shaft if you're having trouble with your fletching sticking to the arrow. This will give a nice neutral coat so that glues, tapes, all that will stick to it. Or you can use it as a sealer to go over your white crown dip, and if you put cresting on it to kind of seal it in there. It gives it that extra security on it so it won't chip off. And that's the purpose of the different colors. You can also pick up other colors to use just for your personal choice. So first thing we do is we line them up, make sure they're even, and then using any straight instrument that you can, just line them up. Make sure it's nice and even on there and have it to the point of where you want it to be on the shaft. Where it is on the shaft doesn't matter, just where you want your dip to stop. Because if you like, you can crest afterwards. I use a pencil, just run it down there. I can see the mark on the shaft while I'm dipping, and it doesn't really stand out in case I miss the line while I'm dipping. It comes with 4 paints, 2 whites and 2 clears, a arrow holder that you assemble, and a glass beaker for a dip tube. Very right out of the box friendly system, easy to work with. What you do is you take off the nocks, since you're going to put the cap dip on the knock end. You pull your nocks out, and then using the dip-in plugs, you stuff them in the end of the shaft, you push them in there so they stay firm. That way no paint gets on the inside of the shaft. For filling the beaker, the actual beaker itself can hold 1 1/4 cans. You won't need that much for it depending on how much of a dip you're putting in there. There's 2 things to consider. One, putting the shafts in is going to disperse itself in there, so it's going to raise the paint. I find it's about 1 inch for a standard 5/16 carbon arrow. So you want to make sure you're at least 1 inch down from the top so that it doesn't overflow. You want to make sure you have more than what your crown dip's going to stop at, so you're not just stopping at the bottom of the dipper, because the arrows are going to pull paint out. So unless you want to be refilling it between every 4 arrows you're dipping, you want to have enough in there so you can do however many you're looking to where it's pulling out. I find as long as you're going at least 1 inch over what your crown dip's going to be, that's just barely enough for it. But like I also said, make sure you're not filling up 1 inch from the top, because you're going to disperse about 1 inch and you don't want it overflowing over the top of the beaker. And now we're ready to go. I'm all preset, ready to go. You just line up there. Nice thing with these particular dip-in plugs is they're a guide also, just so you can dip. Now you just need to be able to watch. Dip nice and slow, keep it steady and straight. Go to your mark, pull up nice and slow. Don't want to hit the sides. And we're going to pause just for a second and let it drip down all the excess. Because this will be messy, folks. Nice and slow, draw out. Let it drip off. There we go. Nice thing with these now, the way that the arrow holder is, there's a nice hook here so you can hang it anywhere that you want to. Grab my rag just so I don't make a mess on my carpet. here. And there you go. First coat on the shafts. Let them dry, go by what your environment is, let them settle down and be really ready to go for a second dip. I like them to be fully dry myself, but go off of what the packaging for the paint, no matter what paint you're using, says. They'll drip down. You can have any setup you want here. Just know that the higher it is up here, the more of a splash you're going to get. Once you're done, you can choose if you want to do a second coat. I may do another, I may not. I'm going to wait and see how it looks. More time than not, especially with white. If it's a nice, good paint like the Bohning paint here, I'm only going to leave one coat on there. But we'll see once it dries. I'm Johnathan Karch with 3Rivers Archery. Thanks for taking the time to talk about the Bohning Dip Kit. Thanks. Bye.